Hey, fifth graders. Today in your activity, we are trying to figure out what to do with remainders. And we have some options, right? When we are given a remainder, we can simply just leave the remainder whole if it makes sense in the context of the problem. Or we can try to split up the remainder in a way that converts it to a fraction or decimal amount, if in fact we wouldn't want there to be leftovers or a remainder. Other times we might need to round up depending on the context of the problem. So in this first problem, I've set up a thinking stem to help you break down the problem, okay? So we're looking at cupcakes being divided evenly among kids. So I want you to go back into the problem and read it and then find the information about how many cupcakes are going to be shared equally among kids. And then we're going to fill that in. And then once you've done that, we're going to have to work this one out. And the way that I see we can work it out is by simply dividing out those 55 cupcakes. In one way that you might want to divide it out would be to use some tally marks. And so if I was going to tally out my cupcakes, I would just make a tally mark on each of these kids' plates. And I've used 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you can keep going until you've distributed all 55 cupcakes. But beware, if you can't share them equally, you're going to want to put those cupcakes off to the side because they have to be shared equally. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, so what you're going to find out is that each kid is going to get 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 cupcakes. And then we know that there's going to be some left over. So the question becomes, what are we going to do with those 3 leftover cupcakes? Okay. Are we able to share them equally? No, we can't because there's 4 people. So what would be the best thing to do? Ms. Swanson gave us a hint and she said that you can split up those cupcakes. So how might we split them up? And when I think of splitting food, I think of a fraction. So how would we split up 3 cupcakes for 4 people? Okay, so in my head, I'm wondering if each cupcake could be split into 4 pieces since there's 4 kids. So if we did that, how much would each kid get? Try that one out. And remember to record your answer on your page. In question B, there are some kids that are going to be going to the zoo after school. And we need to try to figure out if 4 kids can fit in each car, how many cars they will need to bring, okay, so that all the kids can get to the zoo. So first start by reading the problem and then fill in the important information about the number of kids and the number of kids that can fit in each car. Once you have that figured out, we need to try to figure out how we can divide this to get our answer. I'm thinking of using a ratio table because I know that my rate of change is staying constant. Each car can fit 4 kids. So I'm going to start to fill in my ratio table with that information. 1 car can fit 4 kids. If we have 2 cars, then we will have 8 kids riding. You can use this strategy of a ratio table to help you work out the answer. When you are done figuring it out, we need to fill in how many cars will we need, and then will there be any kids left over? Okay. Is it okay if we have some kids left over? No, it's not, because we need all the kids to be able to go to the zoo. So then think about how you might deal with the remainder. Are you going to convert it into a fraction or a decimal? Or could you round up so that each kid fits into a car? Remember to record your thinking on your workbook page. All right, so in this last problem, we have set up the model similarly to the other ones that we've done. And I'm going to invite you to work this one out by yourself, okay? Remember, when dealing with remainders, we can decide if it makes sense to just leave the remainder as a whole, but anytime that we are trying to share something equally, that's unfair, okay? So then if we need to make sure that we deal with the remainders, then you need to either split it into a fraction or a decimal. And when we are working with money, oftentimes the best way to show that is by using decimals, okay? Think about your, the ratio of pennies to dollars, dimes to dollars, nickels to dollars, quarters to dollars. That might help you work out this one, okay? If you're trying to share something with 100 people, well, then you might want to use pennies. If we're trying to share something with maybe 10 people, maybe we'd use dimes. So try to use the value of the coins to help you with figuring out the decimals. Keep working hard and remember to show all your work on your workbook page.